Hey, Biz Besties. Well, hopefully we are live. Yes, we are. Well, hey, it's Kick-Ass Kylie here, your 10X Biz Bestie. And I wanted to share what I talked about on my coaching calls today, my business coaching calls for 10X Unlimited, where I help you to 10X your business, 10X your life. And today, 10X your sex life. So people ask me all the time, what do you really talk about on your coaching calls? Well, today, we're talking about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Why not? Because you know what? Let's get real. If your life sucks, if your sex life sucks, your business probably does too. So, inside our coaching calls, we don't just avoid the hard stuff, pun fully intended. Because this is about life. It's about your business, energy, desire. And guess what? An orgasm a day keeps the doctor away and it keeps money flowing your way. So, what the heck am I even talking about? Sex and business, and how does it go together? Well, in case you don't know me, hi, my name is Kylie. I am your 10X Biz Bestie. I am an ocean obsessed mermaid. I live in my tree house here in the Whitsundays. I'm the mum of 2 teens, 3 cavoodles, and I have been self employed for over 30 years. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I've been a business coach for over 20 years. And I absolutely love to have businesses work for their business owner. You see, most business owners, they get stuck in what I call the owner's trap. And, they just get stressed. And, I was on a call with the client just today. And my goodness, like we went through so much on the call. We talked about funnels, lead magnets, opt-in pages, sales pages, irresistible offers, all the things. Email sequences, creating events, Kajabi. Like, oh my goodness, it's amazing how much we can cover in a call. But do you know what happened? It doesn't matter. I can give you the absolute best strategy in the world. But if your energy is off, if you are not feeling the vibe, guess what? You are not going to attract your tribe. So at the end of the call, I said to this beautiful client of mine, you okay? Like, what's going on? And she was like, oh, just, since I turned 50, everything's turned to shit. And you know what? I could totally relate because 4 months ago, when I turned 50, I felt like I was 70, right? And when you feel like crap, you are not going to be a high energy. You are not going to be performing at your best. And you're absolutely not going to be attracting, the right people into your business. And so we started to unpack that. And, she had some health challenges that was throwing up. So I'm like, okay, well, let's look at what's the root cause of that. And as you know, I haven't just been a business coach. I worked in health and wellness for 20 years. I was a Taekwondo instructor, a personal trainer, a group fitness instructor, a gym manager, a gym owner, done a lot of things in my time. And I said to her, well, look, let's just look at the basics. Like, you're sitting on a computer all day. Are you getting up and moving? No, absolutely no exercise. So that's the first thing. You need to move your body. And the best way to move your body is have great sex with your partner. And I'm going to circle back to the sex conversation. So if you're here for the sex, just hang 5. We're going to circle back in just a minute. So I said, okay, so that's the first problem. We're not moving. I actually use this app called Focus Keeper, and it's amazing. So basically you're on the clock. So it's like a time bomb it's ticking. You got to race the clock. So you work in 25-minute blocks. It's using the Pomodoro technique, the tomato. And then you have a 5-minute break. So in that 5 minutes, you got to go move. So it might be, go fill up your water, go hang out the washing, just put on your favorite song and dance like nobody's watching. So movement, what it does is it boosts the endorphins. It's the happy drug, dopamine. You feel freaking amazing. And then you want to, do more. So that was the first block. Second block was, are you drinking enough water? She's like, no. And I get it. Here in Australia, it's winter right now. It's harder to drink water, but at least drink like peppermint teas, herbal teas, get the fluids in. Because again, if you don't, you're not flushing out the toxins. So that brings me to the third point. I said, and how are we going with alcohol? Because, when we're putting the toxins in, the only way to get rid of those, of course, is move and drink water. So if you're not moving and drinking water, we've got to stop the toxins in. Nope. So much easier to sit down in the afternoon with a glass or 2 of wine, which turns into a bottle, which turns into 2. And then what happens at the end of the night? We're tired and we don't want to have intimacy with our partners. And I'm just going to have a chat to to the ladies in the room, men, if you're listening, that's okay. Eavesdrop, hang in there. We're going to circle back to sex, I promise you. Women, when your man comes home and he says, "Hi, dear, how was your day?" that is not your permission to then tell him every bad thing that's happened and then whinge about him for what he hasn't done and the list of jobs he needs to do and the undies that were left on the floor, because guess what? He's probably had a shit day too. And so then he's going to go have a shower. He's going to wash off his day. He's going to go to the fridge. He's going to crack a beer. He's going to sit down in front of the TV and zone out because he's zoning you out, right? I remember years and years ago, I was listening to a Tony Robbins training, and he talked about the importance of sex and, keeping that spark in your relationship. And yes, this does circle back to business, so bear with me. And he said one thing that he does every single day is, if his wife's out, when she comes home, he hides. And then when she comes in and she's like, "Tony, Tony, where are you?" And he'll come out and like grab her, surprise her, which of course makes her laugh, wraps his arms around her and kisses her so passionately. Now, men and women, this is for both of us. When was the last time you absolutely wrapped your arms around your partner, you looked them in the eyes, you said, "I fucking love you," and you just gave them the most passionate, deep kiss? Like, when was that? Because here's the thing that keeps the passion alive. You've got to reignite that passion, that fire, because if you are not having intimacy with your partners, guess what? It will end in heartbreak. It will end in divorce, possibly with an affair. And, then it all turns to shit. And then how's that going to impact your business? So if you want a better business, it starts with you need to be better. And how do you be better? Well, having a great sex life and a great relationship is not going to hurt. It's only going to help your business. And, I was laughing today because this has come up so many times for me when I've been coaching, clients in their business, that inevitably the conversation turns to sex. And I'll say, because mostly I coach women, I do have some amazing men as well. And, my question is, well, when's the last time that you had an orgasm? When's the last time that you passionately kissed your partner? When's the last time you went out on a date together? And then they start thinking and they can't even remember. And that has an impact on your business. It has an impact on freaking everything. So whether you're in business or not, it doesn't matter. We're just going to talk about sex just for a hot minute. I have had this program that I have wanted to launch for over 5 years. And no, this isn't a big announcement just yet. But this program is for women to awaken the goddess within. Because ladies, here's what I know. You are fucking tired. You are exhausted. You're not moving. You're not drinking enough water. And then the afternoon, you start with the wine. And guess what? Those three things are killing your relationship because they are killing your sex life. And it's not just important for men. Us ladies need it too. And here's why. In your business, in your life, when you tap into your sexual energy, you awaken that goddess within, that Kundalini energy. That is your secret superpower. And when you feel sexy, guess what? Everything shifts. Everything starts to flow. So I'm not lying when I say an orgasm a day, it keeps the doctor away. Great for your health, but guess what? It also keeps the money flowing your way. So for more business tips, just follow me. Share this video with anybody who needs to hear it. I wanted to just share this today because I literally just got off this call and I just thought, you know what? The whole freaking world needs to hear this. So, hi, I'm Kick-Ass Kylie. Sex and business, let's 10x it all. Have an amazing afternoon. I hope this made you smile. Grab your partner, passionately kiss them, and have great sex tonight. Mwah.